question is, should ex-convicts ever be allowed to become MPs? We saw reported by the Mail Online, I believe it was yesterday, that the Reform MP James McMurdock actually served a jail sentence about 20 years ago because he attacked his then girlfriend outside a club. And it's started an interesting moral question. Should people who have served their prison time, served their punishment, been rehabilitated, ever be allowed to serve in public office? Now, there are lots of different opinions on this. Some people think it's completely inappropriate for someone who has engaged in such criminality to become an MP. Other people, like myself, think that actually people deserve second chances, and that someone who has completely turned their life around, got a well-paying job in the City of London, has children, has been married, and has now become an MP rather than reoffended, actually should be given a second chance and deserves to be an MP, even if I think what he did was appalling and my thoughts and feelings are very much with the victim and her family. Benjamin Butterworth, what do you make of this? Do you think that we should ever be allowing criminals, particularly people who have been involved in domestic violence, violence against women and girls, male to female, are they fit to be MPs?
Well, the question is, are they rehabilitated? Are they the same person? Have they learned the lesson? You know, if you want to live in a society whereby your debt can never be paid for the mistake you made, well, then we're going to live in a pretty hopeless society. What he did is utterly appalling, and it's something that the vast majority of us wouldn't need to learn by going to prison, that you don't beat people, women or anyone else. But it was 20 years ago, and from the comments he's made, he clearly has not repeated this action. There's no record of him behaving like that since. He says he regrets it, and he now, by the time sounds of it, has a well-paid job and a happy family. And so that, for me, is what you want in society. You want people to learn the lessons. And I actually think the attitude that says, so, for example, in the Labour Party, the vetting of who could be a candidate was extremely strict. The tiniest of things got people blocked because they were nervous about what would happen. And, you know, some of that is good. You want a high quality of MPs from all parties. But the idea that someone could have made a serious mistake and that bars them from opportunity forever, I think is a shame. You know, both of my parents have been to prison. My mother has been to prison. She was a heroin addict for many years. She was extremely unwell. And now she is a functioning, contributing, tax-paying member of society. And she was on the wrong path for most of her adult life. The idea that she should have been denied opportunity. And in fact, a couple of years ago, she got a job in a primary school as a cleaner, and they found out about that she'd been to prison, and they took the job off her. Now, this is 10 years, 15 years after she'd been to prison. I think that is a reprehensible way for a society to behave.
Renee, some people really are quite exercised by this. I was reading a response to my tweet from Rebecca Reid, obviously friend of the channel. She said she'd be inclined to agree, but his statement is, "I'm not sorry, bingo," she says. He points out that she was drunk, accuses people of lying in the situation, and uses the words teenage indiscretion. Rebecca Reid says these are all from the Abusive Man Handbook. Do you have any sympathy with that?
No, none at all. It was still 20 years ago. He was a teenager. He did wrong, you know, we know that, and what he did was absolutely awful. But as everybody has said around here, he has gone on to prove that he can contribute to society, be a respectable guy. I just don't think we can hang people by their past if they've now reformed.
Yeah, all right. We're going to have to leave that there. I've got some comments I'll read out after the break on that issue.